In any case, in late '06, 2000, in late through late 2007, for this individual, that area was highlighted by Uranus. It was a time of feeling restless, to say the least. And things like home, foundation, where he rests his emotions and his base of operation on, as well as relationships. So it could be marriage partners, business partners. All of it kind of went through a pretty heavy shaking. It was a wake up call. It was a wake up to say, whoa, this isn't really working for you. And so whatever he did with that is what he did with it. In some cases, you make adjustments and you stick with what you have with major adjustments. In other cases, you dump everything and start new. So whatever late 2006 through late 2007 was for him, we're not really sure. We just know that it definitely one of those two things, either major revolutions and total change or major adjustments within that which exists. And so following that then, in recent times, Uranus has been conjunct his natal Saturn in the 8th house. And so this conjunction, this is really, Saturn deals with our structures and how we structure our lives and our general being in a lot of ways. And so when Uranus, this planet of change and rebellion and disruption comes along, it's challenging you to break apart those structures and reorganize them in a way that actually works authentically, in an authentic way. No more faking it, no more hiding who you are. And so this has been going on since the spring of 2008, and it has just ended. And I mean, when I say just ended, I mean within the last week or so. And this is January 2nd, 2010 or 2010. So we're talking mid to late December was around the time when this finally broke. And it started again about spring 2008. So about a year and a half of shaking up those structures. So whatever didn't get shooken up in 2007 certainly got shooken up between early 2008 and late 2009, that kind of time period again. And most of these structures might have dealt with work and service. So if he was in a line of work where it was kind of an everyday routine, these routines were broken up. 2008, 2009, broken up. And they could have been reorganized in a way that is more authentic to this individual. And now what we're coming upon with this Uranus transit is it is now touching on his natal Mercury. Mercury deals with our mentality, how we communicate, how we take in information, and etc. It's all about information in and out both ways, and also thinking as well, abstract thinking. And so when Uranus conjuncts your Mercury, your natal Mercury, which is again only going to happen about once a lifetime, once every 84 years or so. So in our human lifetimes, that comes out to about once a lifetime. And so this is his once in a lifetime period to rethink things. Again, it's all about Uranus, it's all about being authentic. Make sure he restructures his thinking into something that is more authentic. His creative output needs to be more authentic. And so this started in the spring of 2009. So just about 6 to 8 months ago or so, this came into being, about April 2009, I want to say. And this will continue through most of 2010. There'll be some periods of this getting hit, at least through the spring of 2010 for the most part. But what this is gonna do is open up new ideas with regards to his goals, with regards to money-making ideas as well, because Mercury rules these two areas of his chart, dealing with goals and wishes and also money-making, personal money-making in the second house kind of a realm. And so this is what's being revolutionized in his life right now as of spring 2009 through about spring 2010 and continuing even further along beyond that. So this is under the gun as we speak. Other things that are going on, if we want to take a little piece by piece. What's happening right now? We're under 2 retrogrades. Okay, retrogrades are when planets appear to be moving backwards. It's just an optical illusion because of planets relative to the Earth and how they look from Earth. They're going around the sun at different rates than we are, and at times, relative to our general speed with respect to the sun, it looks like a planet's moving backwards. And during those retrograde periods, there is some significance, okay? And Mercury retrogrades about 3 times per year for about 3 weeks. And these are times to reorganize our thinking, reorganize our paperwork. Not a good time to move forward with a new contract, for example. But if you take it as a time to reorganize your things and find mistakes and correct mistakes, it ends up being a really valuable period. And so right now, Mercury, it started retrograding in December, so December 26th, 2009, and it'll be done January 15th, 2010. So again, about a 3-week period. Today's January 2nd, so we still have a couple of weeks left of the retrograde. And so during this period, what he's doing is reviewing, and for him in particular, this is a retrograde that starts in the 6th house of work and service and retrogrades back into his 5th house of creativity and creative output. So there is some rethinking going on in regards to what is he going to output, what is his output going to be, etc. So he's really rethinking this, and it's a good time to do that. Good time to do that. Not a good time to go forward with anything the next couple of weeks, but just a time to think it over. Now, when Mercury starts going forward in mid to late January, now is the time to start taking what you've thought over and to move forward with it. And that goes for everybody. In his particular case, though, it's specific to this idea of creative output and work and service and how you can blend those kind of two things together. Mars retrograde, that's the other planet that's retrograde right now, that started December 20th, 2009. So again, just started recently. This lasts a little bit longer. It only occurs once every 2 years, but it lasts about 3 months or so. And so it started December 20th. It'll continue until about March 10th, 2010. And so during a Mars retrograde, Mars represents our energy and how we take action, okay? And so this is more of dealing with our ambition. And so if these creative projects are these ambitious projects of where he wants to head as well, with regards to his next steps and direction in life, then it's a double whammy that says, just hold on to it for now. Just think it over. Just review it. Because with Mars retrograde, it's just a time to gather your resources together, gather what pieces of or tools that you have that you're going to need when it's time to move forward again, which will be in the spring. Okay? And so for him, Mars retrograde is happening specifically, the retrograde is starting in his 1st house of personality and just the general persona of the individual. And it's going to retrograde back into his 12th house, which is this closet of the zodiac in a way, where we hide things and where our subconscious or unconscious things lie in wait. And so with Mars doing that kind of motion in that part of his chart, it really does suggest some time to just pull back, really think about what's motivating you in this situation. And then once the spring hits again, especially in April, when Mars crosses the ascendant and into the 1st house, because that's, I show you where this is, like we said, the ascendant here starts the chart. Here is Mars in the 1st house, and it's going to retrograde into the 12th and then move forward again. And when it crosses the ascendant back into the 1st house in a forward direction, this is when it's a time to come out with some things and move ahead. And so Mars is going to dip back and cross over its ascendant in late January, and it will then again recross over, say, in about mid-April, mid to late April. And so this late January to mid to late April time period is a time to just soak it in. Okay, there'll be other things going on. It's okay, but it's time to soak it in as far as any active projects go. Then in the spring, April-ish, is when things move forward. And April really does get highlighted in a lot of ways, and we'll get to that. But so in general, what we're looking at against those 2 retrograde periods, I just want to highlight those and just remind this individual that it is a time period to pull it back a little bit. Plenty of stuff moving forward in the spring. 2010 definitely offers some promise here, and so that's what we'll talk about. Other things going on as well.